Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be forging a machete out of this piece of a lawnmower blade here. So for people who don't know about lawnmower blades and you know what kind of steel you want for a knife, lawnmower blades usually make decent knives and tools. They've got a decent carbon content. They're not quite as good as something like a leaf spring or a coil spring. But for our purposes here, this will do just fine. It is a hardenable steel. I have not experimented enough to know whether or not this particular piece is water quenching, so I'm just gonna probably end up not quenching it since it's such a long piece and I don't have a quench tank that big for oil. But without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it, get to cutting this piece off with the hot cut and then shaping the blade. I need to draw it out very long and thin, so it's gonna take quite a bit of effort and work, but I'm glad to be making another video. It's been quite a bit since I've made one, so I'm pretty happy to be doing that, and go ahead and get into it, put you guys on the time lapse. So, it's been quite a bit of time. I've got this piece thinned down here and it's still spread out up here. Now, this is actually a little misleading, what I've got going on here. I actually want this wider section to be the handle because of the holes, and the thinner section up top to be the top of the blade. Now what I'm going to have to do in that case is I'm going to have to reverse taper to make this tip the widest point and this the thinnest, which is obviously going to take quite a long time to do. But I should be able to get a pretty good sized machete out of this piece. So I'm going to put y'all back in the time lapse. It's a little boring just watching me whack this piece of steel for hours on end, so back you go. So as you can see, I've got this piece of lawnmower blade down around where I want it as far as thickness and everything goes. I'm going to be starting the beveling process pretty soon. Not exactly sure how much further, how much longer I'm going to go today. Been out here for quite a bit, so might go in maybe after I've shaped the tip, I'm thinking. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick here. Now, I like to cut my tips. I've shown you guys before. What I like to do is take a flat rectangle and cut one of the corners off. Just makes shaping the tip that much easier. It's something that I've always done. You can obviously do it other ways, but sometimes you get a weird mushrooming effect if you do it that way, and I've just found that this way works best for me personally. So that is how I generally start my blade tips. It's taking a little while to heat this piece of steel up here. That's not the part that's been in the fire, so it kind of makes sense. And this this tip is already somewhat shaped naturally, which is cool. I'm still going to cut it though. There we go. And I'm now going to switch over to my 3.5 pound hammer, just because that is a more convenient size for finer shaping. The big hammer is good for heavy work, but I'm no longer in that stage of the process, so I don't need it. So I'll take the cut tip and start at the corner of the cut and sort of start working it down this way. Yep, that looks pretty good. And then I can start the beveling process to give it that falchion shape that I'm kind of going for. But that's all for today. I will see you guys the next time I am forging. Hello everyone, welcome back. So this is going to be day 2 of forging the Machete. My main plan for today is get the rough forging done. What I need to do is thin this section down a bit more, and thin it, flatten it out, and then bevel it. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. And hopefully I can get the forging done today. And then I'll probably do a part 2. I know I've been doing a lot of less in-depth projects lately, so I'm probably going to do a part 2 where I do the finishing and the handle making, etc. In more detail than I have been lately. So anyway, I'm going to get to forging. So I'm pretty upset because I left this in the fire too long, and as you can see, it has pretty much turned into cast iron right there. The crack is very visible, and if I were to try and keep this the way that it is, it would surely break in half at some point. See, so I'm going to cut it off right about here, and honestly that's pretty demotivating. Well, we'll see how much material I can stretch out of it, but I mean, you know, you've still got most of the blade, but I still have to make the tang, and it's still cut off a good 5 inches of that blade at least, and I haven't even drawn it out yet, so it would have been longer even than it is now. Whatever, I'll cut it off and see what I can get out of it. But it just goes to show you that even people with experience, it's easy to make one quick mistake This example being lack of diligence, I suppose. Anyway, I suppose I'm going to get back to it, and there it goes. So, look, there's another crack right there. I don't even know if I want to continue with this piece. Not going to be as long as I thought it would be. There's not really much of a point in making this to not be a machete. So I guess what I'm going to do is toss this piece, get a new piece. Once I have it to this point, I'm going to resume filming. So that may take a few days, but I will see you guys then. At which point I can continue the actual project itself. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I'm going to be continuing this machete I'm making here. I've decided to make this a mini-series. This video has taken a long time to make, and I went out of town for a few days. It's been quite a long time since I made a video in the first place, and I wouldn't want anybody to be waiting for too long for another video to come out. So I'm going to go ahead and probably wrap up this video today. And then I will start the part 2 of the making the machete once I get some of these orders that I have backed up done and that sort of thing. So I plan to at least get the form finished today, if not the beveling as well. That's my goal, is to get the beveling done today, which shouldn't be too difficult to do since I only have 2 orders right now. I can afford to spend, you know, a little bit today working on a video. So yeah, but with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and get to the forging process. Where we left off, I was just drawing it out some more. As you can see, it's still very, very thick, so I need to remedy that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get into it. So, the blade shape that I'm going for is a falchion type blade. The idea is that the blade swells around this area and tapers down towards the handle, down this way. So right now what I'm doing is flattening it out just to see what I need to expand and what I need to still draw out. It looks like from here down I have to do some more drawing out, so I may not finish the beveling today. We'll see. I'm just refining the shape a little further. As you can see, the blade was pretty much the same thickness the whole way down. So what I've begun to do is just taper it slowly down the length of the blade a little bit. The reason being, I've made only one machete before, and I did the same thing on that one, but I used a shorter piece of steel. So it turns out my camera decided to turn off in the middle of my explanation there. So what I was saying was I used a shorter piece of steel, which made a shorter machete. And the whole reason I'm remaking the machete is because I wanted more reach and more momentum. So I needed a longer piece to be made, but to get the same effect, I still want to taper this slightly down the blade, a distal taper it's called. So that's what I've been doing here, refining the shape a little bit more, thinning it out. It looks to be close to done as far as the profile goes. I don't think I'm going to finish beveling today, just because I've spent a bit more time on this step than I thought I was going to. So I may make this more than 2 parts. depending on how much I decide to tape of the finishing process. But it may only be a two-parter. Just depends. I think that's all for this part one of the video here, though. I've got the blade to shape profile-wise. So with that said, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment, and please do subscribe, as that helps out the channel more than you realize. And once again, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video.